The central challenge LGBT Mormons face is the seemingly intractable conflict between the LDS Church's doctrine about the family and our experience as LGBT. But I believe that that conflict is only seemingly intractable. I believe that no human conflict is truly intractable, and I believe that we will see a resolution of this issue within the LDS Church and community within my lifetime. But I also believe that if we want to see that resolution, it's absolutely vital that we engage with our faith and with the LDS community in talking about sexuality and our experience as LGBT people. Now, some people have suggested that because I feel this engagement is essential to moving forward as LGBT Mormons, that I somehow don't support individuals who have chosen to leave the church. And nothing could be farther from the truth. I feel that it's absolutely essential for that work, for that engaging work to happen, that we as individuals also be absolutely affirmed in our freedom to make choices about what is best for us in terms of our life and our faith. My husband, Euron, and I are the foster parents of a gay son named Glenn. And while my husband, Euron, and I hoped that Glenn would internalize some of our spiritual values, what was most important to us was that he grew up healthy and happy, that he got a good education, that he learned the principles of what makes a good relationship, and we really wanted him to find a life partner. And in fact, he has. He graduated from the University of Minnesota. He got a degree in urban studies and urban planning. He's working for the city of Minneapolis in a very socially conscious way, trying to make our city more supportive of people regardless of their economic and class background. And he found a wonderful husband whom he married last year, his husband Will, whom we love and who is a part of our family now as well. And Glenn has chosen not to affiliate himself with any faith community. He chose not to affiliate himself with the Mormon Church, as I have. He chose not even to affiliate himself with a very LGBT-friendly UCC congregation that Euron and I had attended together. And Euron and I have been totally supportive of him in his decision to not affiliate with any religion at all. What we wanted most for him was his ultimate happiness. Now, one of the great challenges that Glenn faced is that his mother is a fundamentalist Christian. And early on, it was extremely painful to Glenn that his mother expressed very judgmental attitudes about the fact that Glenn was gay. And in fact, his mother was extremely distrustful of me and Euron because we were a gay couple. But Euron and I understood that in order for Glenn to be happy, he needed to have a strong, healthy, positive relationship with his mother. And so we set it as a goal to build that relationship with her and to reach out to her. And initially, our first contact with her was for not more than half an hour in the food court at a shopping mall halfway between her home in Iowa and our home in Minneapolis. And that was literally just meeting her for the first time and helping her see that we're just normal people. And over the months, we would meet with her every month or two, and as we met, our visits would get longer, and we would be able to talk about more substantive things. And one of the things that Glenn really valued in me as a father is the fact that I was a devout, committed Christian, that I knew the scriptures, that I knew the Christian faith. And he knew that I would be able to engage with his mother and talk to his mother about issues of faith and issues and what it meant to be gay. And he knew that he could count on me, that he didn't feel like he could engage with her. He didn't know the scriptures the way I knew them. He didn't understand the doctrines of his mother's faith the way I did. And so he trusted me. He relied on me to be able to speak with her and talk to her about these things. And in fact, I was able to build a bridge to his mother, and we eventually established a very strong, positive relationship that was grounded in our common faith in Jesus Christ. One of my happiest moments as a father was one day after we had had his mother over for the entire Thanksgiving weekend. And we drove her back home to her home in Iowa after Thanksgiving. And it was about a 3.5 to 4 hour drive each way. And after about 3.5 hours, 4 hours driving back home to Minneapolis after dropping her off, we arrived at home. We sat down, we started watching television, and Glenn's cell phone rang. And it was his mother. He went upstairs and answered the call, and Euron and I were downstairs watching TV when all of a sudden we heard wailing and crying, the most heartrending weeping and sobbing that we had ever heard coming from our foster son. We ran up the stairs. We knocked on his door. We said, "Glenn, what's the matter? Are you okay? What did your mother say to you?" And we were so afraid that she had said something that had wounded him deeply. And Glenn said to us with tears in his eyes, "Nothing is wrong. Everything is right. My mother just called me to apologize for all of the things that she has said to me over the years that have hurt me." That kind of reconciliation is the kind of reconciliation that I yearn for every LGBT Mormon. And in my role as a leader in Affirmation, I see myself being able to play very much the same kind of role that I was able to play in Glenn's life, as somebody who could engage with the faith, talk about issues of faith, but also talk about my experience as a gay man and help to build understanding and reconciliation and resolution. Now, I think that in Affirmation, there's an absolute vital need for those of us who are grounded in the faith and who are connected to stay engaged with the church. And when Affirmation supports individuals in that, Affirmation flourishes as an organization, and we begin to build ties and build relationships that are absolutely vital. Now, those who have left the church, or those who are questioning and who are not sure where they are in terms of their faith as Mormons, are also absolutely vital in the organization. It is absolutely vital that we show LGBT youth that they have options, that they can make healthy choices, and they need to see that we can be healthy and we can be happy outside of the church. That's absolutely vital, because many will not be happy inside the church and will need to leave for a time, and they need to see, maybe leave for good, and they need to see that people can be happy, and they need to see the kinds of healthy choices that people can make. My husband and I have a beautiful relationship. We've been together for over 23 years, and we've always seen things differently in terms of faith, in terms of beliefs, but we have a beautiful, harmonious relationship because we share common values of love, of service, and education, learning. All of these things are things that we share in common and that we've been able to build a strong, happy, successful relationship on, even though we have differences in faith. And I see our relationships within Affirmation being very much the same. I think that we can build an organization around common values, even if our beliefs are different, even if our faith is different. I have had decades of experience working within LGBT communities of faith, within Lutherans Concerned. I helped to pioneer one of the first ever campus ministry ecumenical LGBT faith-based ministries. We worked with Jews, we worked with Catholics, we worked with Baptists, we worked with Lutherans, with UCCers, and we reached out to people on campus. We educated about sexual orientation issues and faith, and this was back in the early 90s. I have served on the Faith Roundtable in Minnesota, working with communities of faith to talk about LGBT experience. I have been a leader in affirmation for the last 3 years, served as senior vice president for 2 years. I have been active in my LDS ward for 10 years, and I have spoken to bishops, I've spoken to stake presidents, I've spoken to church leaders at the highest levels of the church, and have been able to engage and talk about faith. They know my faith, they know my commitment, they know my testimony, and so we're able to have meaningful conversations that I believe ultimately will lead to the kind of resolution that LGBT Mormons desperately need. So I invite you to join me. I invite you to vote for me for president of Affirmation, and know that I need you regardless of where you are in terms of your faith. I know that Affirmation cannot go forward unless we work together based on our common values of love and community and service. Thank you.